action. All right. Welcome back to the Malapert Smart Podcast. We're going to talk wrestling here. This is a wrestling podcast. We got Vlad, the wrestling expert. He's here, and Robert, the frozen Asian. All right. What's up? You guys got anything to say about your week that you went off and did your own life and didn't watch wrestling? It doesn't matter about your week, okay? We're only here to watch wrestling. We're only here to talk about wrestling.
Okay.
Yes. So let's get on with it, all right? No one cares about our personal lives. This is a wrestling podcast. We talk wrestling here. Wrestling. All right. So we got to pick up the pace on the show, I guess. Let's see if we can try to speed it up, maybe talk faster. I notice a lot of the peoples these days, they have no attention span whatsoever. They just want things to be like this, like this, like this, like this. All right. Which is not really our style. We're kind of more like laid back, you know. But whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. We got to keep the people interested still. So we're doing the week in WWE and AEW. This is the segment that this is how I've been formatting the show recently. So we're just going to cover everything from the past week in WWE and AEW, the two major companies, and everything that happened since last Monday. Everything before that we covered on the last show. So you can go ahead and go back and listen to that on our channel if you want, and subscribe. Don't forget to do that. So we're going to start with Monday Night Raw. This is May 6th, 2024. All right. I got bookmarks. You know, I didn't really have a lot of time to watch wrestling this week, but I do have some bookmarks. So whatever the bookmarks come to, I'm just going to run through the show, guys, and stop me if anything is interesting. All right. And then if it's not interesting, forget it. Listen, we got a lot of wrestling to cover here. So we're going to try to run through everything. My goal is to do this in less than an hour. So let's get on with it. So here's the first bookmark I have. Oh, let me change the now playing. It says Dynamite on there. This is not Dynamite. So they covered Backlash. We covered Backlash, so we don't need to see their review of Backlash. The first thing I bookmarked is Damian Priest. And he came out and apologized to Finn and JD for the post-match beatdown they did on Jey Uso, and Damian got mad at them, right? And I was telling you guys last week, I was like, man, this is just another tease for a breakup. There's no way they're gonna break up. And then he comes out and he says, I apologize. It was my bad. Although he was mad at the moment that they engaged in a post-match beatdown of Jey Uso. And then here they come and they settle their differences. And that's that. So Judgment Day will continue, just like I said. Although there was drama at the pay-per-view, but nothing came of the drama. But whatever. If anyone else is annoyed by that, like I am, you can speak now. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the next.
No, real quick.
Yes.
Not that I'm annoyed with that. I just think, shouldn't he go out on his own at this point? Like, isn't that group already redundant? Like, does anybody care about the Judgment Day anymore? It's over. Like, with Rhea gone, JD and Dominic always lose. Even Finn hasn't really done anything lately. He should just go out on his own, bro. He should dump that group and he's the champion now. Try to legitimize himself by himself. He doesn't need this second tier group at all. That's my opinion on this.
Robert, you didn't have anything to say about the JD and Finn Balor and Damian and their newest tease at a breakup?
I think eventually he's going to leave them. He should. I mean, I don't know how many times at this point we've said, Judgment Day really needs this victory because they've been taking a lot of L's. And then we kind of repeat that over and over and over again. It's time that he just goes out on his own at this point.
And in wrestling, sorry, Vlad. In wrestling, these groups don't really last that long. Even the NWO, as hot as it was only like 2-3 years. You know? Yeah. If something's not working, you want to move on or do something better, just do it. You know? I mean, not everything's AEW. AEW has best friends going for like 4 or 5 years. That's not how wrestling is. That shit should have been gone by now. But anyways, Vlad, did you have anything to say before I move on to the next?
No, you can move on.
All right, so yeah, end Judgment Day. I've had enough. Let Rhea and Damian go off on their own.
That's what I just said. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Next, Jay Uso replaced Drew McIntyre in their King of the Ring tournament match against Finn Balor, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Finn Balor thought he was going to have the day off because Drew McIntyre's out injured or something. But
yes.
But Jay Uso covered for him, and Drew McIntyre showed up at the show, right? I think, yeah, he showed up in the crowd. So from the crowd, and he came to watch Jey Uso, but in the end, Jey Uso gets the victory. So yeah, just like you said, Vlad, Finn Balor struggling, not getting any victories, but let's see the ending. Just a spear from Jey Uso takes out Finn Balor. Okay, but Drew McIntyre, a very prominent character on this show, and he's not in the title picture, but man, he's like a star of this show. Like, I'm very impressed with how they're using Drew McIntyre
Oh yeah.
recently.
Absolutely.
Like, sometimes when you don't put someone in the title picture, like CM Punk, remember a long time ago, if he was like not champion, he would blow his stack. But I think he's matured to the point where he's realized that as long as you're in a good storyline, in a strong storyline, that's good enough. You don't have to always be fighting for a title. You know what I mean? So,
True.
True.
all right, let's move on. Let's see what we got next. King and Queen of the Ring tournament. I like how they made the PLE called the King and Queen of the Ring. Equality for women, right, Vlad?
I got no comment. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's fine. But the funny thing is, it's the equality for women in Saudi Arabia. I think that's where it's a little bit like, really? Really? That's where we're getting equality for women, where they're really, like, women are covered. I don't want to make it a political thing, but you know what? It's just ironic that it's in Saudi Arabia. Is all I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna leave it at that.
All right. So CM Punk, speaking of keeping someone in a strong storyline like Drew McIntyre's rival at the moment, CM Punk showed up to the stadium in a nice car, in a nice gear, and he meets Adam Pearce, and he wants to go to the ring. So he has that much stroke where he could just tell them, hit my music, I got something to say, right? And he heard that Drew McIntyre just left, but he wants to call out Drew McIntyre for a fight. So I guess he's good to go or something. He looks like he's got his arm out. He's lifting it up and stuff. Like, get out there and work, man.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So there he is, comes out. He talked for a while. I think he called out Drew, right? He called him out and he said, I'm going to wait here in the ring. Hopefully he'll get word that I'm here and come back, right? Which was kind of funny, I thought. I thought it would have been cool if he did actually come back.
Yes.
But that didn't happen. But did he say anything of significance here, Vlad?
Run his mouth about how
Hey,
he prayed.
Can't remember of anything significant. I mean, it was a
listen to him.
promo. Yeah,
Hold on, let me listen to him explain
let's do
the
that.
situation with Drew McIntyre. Because this is the whole conversation right now, is him and Drew. They're in this feud, they hate each other.
I have to tune into this show that I was excited to be back on and listen to this guy run his mouth about how he prayed for me to be injured, and he's proud that I'm injured. But he prayed for this. He picked a fight. He picked a very personal fight with the pettiest man on the roster. Maybe even on Earth. And I said last week I was going to make his life a living hell. That's exactly what I plan on doing. But his bitching and complaining went from I injured CM Punk to CM Punk ruined my WrestleMania plans. CM Punk ruined my title aspirations.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So that's where they're getting to the WrestleMania stuff. But I thought it was interesting that he did kind of expound on how the feud got started, that he just didn't like him, that he was happy that he got injured, that he prayed that he get injured, and that his career wouldn't take off in his return to WWE. So it has a strong foundation of a feud here. Like, this is a real feud, and CM Punk is saying he's making it personal. So I think this is good. I'm surprised that he's here. I thought he'd be out a lot longer, like not even on the show. But okay, I'm still waiting to see when they're going to actually do the dance, but Robert, any comments on CM Punk here?
Well, regarding the feud, you pretty much covered everything I would want to say already. But there are a couple things I noticed that, on kind of on a side note, that I did notice. So starting from when Drew McIntyre started walking towards his car, all the way until CM Punk walked to the ring, WWE utilized another tracking shot. That entire sequence was one long tracking shot. Again, I guess this is like a thing that WWE is trying, and they did it before on a previous episode of Raw. So I did notice that, and also in the crowd during this segment, there's someone dressed up as Macho Man, and then later on in the week in SmackDown, I don't know if it's the same person, but someone else dressed up, or maybe it is the same person, someone dressed up as Macho Man, and I've been noticing that in a lot of recent WWE events, the Raws, SmackDowns, and I forgot the PLEs too. So I'm just wondering if it's the same guy or if it's like a thing now that someone just dresses up as Macho Man and just happens to be like at the very front row. That's a couple things I noticed.
Happening.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
maybe I could see WWE wanting to have a guy there that's dressed up as Macho Man. It could be a plant, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out if it keeps happening. Mm-hmm. But anyways, anything else?
No. Yeah, as far as the feud, you pretty much covered it all.
All right. Vlad, you want me to move on?
I think so. I think you both have said it all perfectly. It's been a good feud, and not much else I can really add. Any other thoughts?
Let's see what we got next. We got Ilya Dragonov had a match with Ricochet, right? And who won this? I think Dragonov won it, right?
Dragonov,
sure.
Yeah,
this is his finishing move. He hits you in the face when you're laying unconscious on the floor, smashes you. So Dragonov is ready-made, right? He's already like a star in WWE. Like there's not much that needs to be done with him. They just send him out there, and hopefully they have something good for him. But yeah, I thought I'd mention Dragonov. He's in this King and Queen of the Ring tournament. Moving along. Oh, handshake after the match. Yeah. Much respect between these two. Good match. Braun Breaker. He wasn't in the King and Queen of the Ring tournament. So he goes to Adam Pearce. He's like, why am I not in this? And they went and talked in their office, and they never came back out, I guess. For the rest of the show. We never found out, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's all I got on this. I mean, Braun Breaker, a star in the making. People saying he's gonna be champion, but not much as so far as his main roster stuff yet, right? So, but I guess they got something cooking.
Yeah, it's early. I mean, they'll figure it out.
It's coming.
Yeah.
Robert, it's coming or what? It's coming?
It's coming. It's coming.
I hope they don't diss Braun Breaker. Maybe this is about Scott Steiner and them wanting. They never pushed Scott Steiner good. You know what I mean? Even though he was the buffest guy, or the man with the largest arms in the world, you know, he really should have been WWE champion, but they never made him WWE champion.
Oh, what are you talking? Okay, let's not even go.
Scott Steiner, he's the big bad booty daddy, bro. Big Papa Pump was the hookup, man. He was the hookup.
Yeah, I know. He was the hookup. Let's just focus on what we got in front of us here. This guy's a star. He's going to be a star. This is a can't-miss prospect. I'll be shocked. Just to go back real quick, Ilya Dragunov, worker. Both of these NXT guys, I know they just both came from NXT. Ilya, love the guy. I think he's also going to be a very quality wrestler for many years to come on whatever brand they put him on, Raw, SmackDown, wherever he is.
Yeah, this was my favorite match of the week.
Yeah, it was very good.
There was a lot of flips and dives. Ricochet did like a series of dives, like 4 of them or something. But okay. And they didn't really overdo it on the show. They let Ricochet do all the dives. But yeah, it was a cool match. I don't know about my favorite match of the week. I'd have to think about that. As we're going through the week, I'll think about that, Robert. I'm not sure. I didn't think about that yet. All right, but here's Carlito hanging out with Dominic Mysterio. Sorry, not Ray. Dominic Mysterio. Dominic brings him the Judgment Day, and Damian's like, nah, you cost me, us against Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico, and now he's like, what? This whole turn on LWO that Carlito did was a little strange to me. It came out of nowhere because he attacked Dragon Lee in the back, and so he's not with the LWO, and now he's coming to hang out with Judgment Day. He's like, forget about it. That's in the past, So I'm not really getting this. Any like Latino guy that Dominic brings around Judgment Day, they kind of don't like him. It was Andrade last time, and now it's but Damian is Latino himself, so
He is.
okay.
He's Puerto Rican. I don't
know. I don't know where this is going. Is Carlito going to be in the Judgment Day, or what's going on? Any comments from anybody?
This was not cool.
No. Him turning on Dragon Lee was not cool, but I don't know. Okay, so they turned Carlito heel. The Carlito's return very kind of lackluster to me, other than, that whole thing in Puerto Rico, the one that he was talking about. Since then, and they reintroduced him into the roster, hasn't really been much, in my opinion. But I'm going to move along from Carlito. What else was next? It was Big Bronson Reed against Chad Gable. Right? Is this a King of the Ring match or no?
I can't remember if this was a King. I don't think it was a King of the Ring match.
I don't think it was because nobody advanced because it was a DQ.
Right.
No, this is not. This shouldn't be in that tournament.
No, this is just the match.
Yeah. So Sami has been. Well, Chad Gable turned on Sami, ruined their friendship. So he attacked him in front of his wife. So here's Sami coming back. Do you have something with Bronson Reed too? That he attacked Bronson Reed?
Just that he wants the IC. Yes, Bronson Reed attacked Sami from the back once, saying that he wants to be IC champion. IC champion, yeah. But I think it's setting up a triple threat match, which is what.
Yeah, no, they did set up a triple threat match. That's gonna happen.
Right.
At the pay-per-view. But this was a pretty good battle between the three of them. To be honest, I like this. This to me was.
I actually like all three. I think Bronson Reed's actually kind of underrated for a big guy, and obviously, I think Gable and Sami Zayn are really good. So this will be quality.
Yeah. So this went back and forth, and in the end, Bronson Reed was the one who got the upper hand, and then I think he cuts a promo in the back, which was kind of interesting. Let's listen to Bronson Reed.
Control each other. Take control of yourself every time. I don't care about Chad, and I don't care about Sami. All I care about is that Intercontinental Championship. This is business to me. If you want control, you know what you need to do.
Yeah.
Pat Raw, general manager.
Not bad. The first time they really used him pretty well there.
He definitely finished his meeting with Bron Breakker, whatever that was.
Oh, that's right.
It didn't last that long.
No, not that long.
He didn't pull a CM Punk where he kept Vince in the office for 2 hours with everyone waiting outside. All right, Gunther. Gunther, well, he's fighting Sheamus tonight for King of the Ring. And Sheamus had cut a promo earlier that I didn't bookmark, but he was talking about how he has all these banger matches, right? Banger after banger. And
burger after burger.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's a good one.
Man, I don't think he's that bad. I mean, I saw him. Vlad.
Only if you compare him to how shredded he was and how he came back. He's gotten a lot of watch the social media, like wrestling social media. He's gotten a lot of shit from people since he came back, just based on his being kind of flabby and a little fat, and the fact that he's so pale as it is, it's kind of you can't miss it. You can't miss it.
Well, he'd fit in AEW, but in WWE, where everyone's like freaking working out like crazy,
shredded.
It's noticeable.
It's just relatively speaking, compared to how he looked before. Yeah, he looks bad. In general, not.
No, he looks fine. If it's just a normal guy, he looks fine. He looks fine. He's more than fine. But as a wrestler, like when compared to what he was, especially when he's in the ring with all these other big dudes, like Ron Baker, even Gunther, obviously is not like the strongest. I mean, he's really big, but obviously he had to lose a lot of weight to get slimmed down. But there's so many big dudes that are just shredded, or even if they're not huge, they're also like They're at their very least muscular, you know. So.
Yeah.
So Gunther was talking about how he doesn't care about having bangers. He's not interested in having bangers. He just wants
he's German. They don't care about that stuff.
Yeah, he just wants to beat you as fast as he can, right? That's logical. But anyway, so he's fighting Sheamus later on. But he cut a good promo here, I guess. I mean, everything Gunther does is pretty good. But so let me move along to Becky Lynch, who had an in-ring interview with Michael Cole. And man, this bored me to tears. This one was tough for me. I struggled with this one. But I can summarize because they put her in front of the audience to talk center stage, and she's trying to put over all these like new NXT women who are coming in, and she's telling them about how all of their accomplishments and all this. And I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know what to say about it. But anyways, Liv Morgan interrupted, right? And I think, did they have anything physical? Did they fight or something? I'm not even remembering.
Didn't somebody else? Somebody else?
Damage Control with Dakota Kai came in, and they surrounded Liv and Becky, but Liv bailed out because she doesn't really care about Becky. And then I guess they had their way with Becky, and then Lyra Valkyria came out, right? Who had a feud with Becky in NXT, and Becky put her over. So Lyra somehow by herself got all three of Damage Control out of the ring. So, okay. She's pretty... They already made her look pretty strong. I expect her to be somewhere fighting for some titles or something, or I don't know. But anyway, so that's that. I mean,
she's the one that beat Becky for the NXT title, so...
Yeah, because she put her over because they're both Irish. So yeah. I guess, you know, they're both Irish lass kickers. So.
I see.
But okay. No, I don't know. Overall, I think this was... Yeah, overall, I just thought it was a boring segment because she was just in there talking for too long. Once, you know, Liv came in and more people started to hit the ring, it was pretty good. But it was like 4 or 5 minutes of just Becky talking, and I was bored by it. But anyways... Robert, if you don't have any comments, I gotta move on.
Move on.
Sami, okay, so this is where they discuss the triple threat match. I think they said they set this up for. What's the next pay-per-view? Is it? Oh, it's King and Queen of the Ring in Saudi Arabia. Okay, all right. So whenever that is. So here's the match between Fat Sheamus and Gunther.
No, he looks.
Oh my god!
I wouldn't call him Fat Sheamus. I just would say. Not as fit Sheamus as he was.
All right. Well, anyways, good match. Gunther wins, or Ludwig Kaiser gets thrown out for interference, but I think Gunther still gets him to tap out, and that's the end of the show. So Sheamus does the job, puts him over, and that's all for Raw. I don't know, not a very eventful Raw, but you know, it was what it was.
Well, I just want to point out the ending. I think they were low on time because they went to that finish kind of quickly. I think they had to like get off the air. It seemed like, and then the referee was like, "All right, hurry up, get out! Don't like." He even pushed Gunther out of the submission move so he could raise his hand as the closing shot because, like, look, we don't have a lot of time. Get off your opponent. Yeah,
I didn't really even notice all that.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, look at that. Let's watch when he taps, and then let's watch that real quick.
You're right. It did end pretty fast because there's like 30 seconds left.
Did you see the push?
Yeah. Well, he's telling him, "Hey, don't break his leg. The match is over."
I know. That's really what it's supposed to be. That's what he's saying. But really, he just like they're going off there and they need him to raise his hand.
There's 10 seconds left. There's literally 10 seconds.
Like literally, they probably were like you said, like 10 seconds. Exactly. So it was kind of a weird ending. I guess they didn't time something right, or I don't know what happened, but it was kind of a weird ending to run. I kind of remember thinking like, kind of odd, but okay, whatever. You know, it happens, I guess. But anyways, yeah.
I didn't care. I mean, that was a long main event match, which is good for me.
I think you were just happy it was over. Like, whatever. It's over.
Yeah, man. I mean, I got a lot of wrestling to watch, and you know I'm dating this girl now, so I have a lot less time. Fucking very limited on time. but I'm trying here. I'm trying to keep up with the wrestling because we have this podcast. But
We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it.
well, let's move on to SmackDown. So let me change the date. SmackDown 5/10. SmackDown May 10th, 2024 is what we're moving on to, and then we'll go to AEW if we have time. But
No, I mean, okay, yeah, if we have time. I think that's fair, actually. Yeah.
all right, so the first bookmark I have for SmackDown is Cody Rhodes. So he didn't come on Raw, but he's here on SmackDown as the Universal Champion. You know, I was expecting him to be like on Raw and SmackDown, like a real workhorse. But now he's turning into Roman Reigns. Pretty soon he's gonna hardly be on the show even. You know, but
I don't think so, bro. I don't really see that, but okay.
Let me see. So he was talking, and he got introduced his next opponent, which was Logan Paul. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So Logan Paul came into the ring, got a lot of boos, got a lot of heat, put himself over, talking about his accomplishments. Cody tried to put him over too because they got to put this match over. But you know, Vlad, you could talk about Logan Paul if you want, but I know you've praised him in recent times. I mean, another title match for him, same like he had against Roman.
I was just about to say the same kind of thing. Wasn't it last year in Saudi Arabia that he faced Roman? Like the same moment, same spot.
Yeah.
I think they for some reason I don't know if he's big in Saudi Arabia or somebody's asking for him specifically. For the Saudis are asking for him. I don't really know the deal here. I don't really know why he's getting a title shot. I actually can't really make sense of that. But I mean, he's a heel and Cody's a babyface, so it kind of works. But I guess maybe unless you want to say like the U.S. champion should be a number one contender, I don't really know how you can make sense of him being.
No, I mean, can't you make sense of it based on how you're just saying he's been a really good worker lately and a strong character on the show?
Yes, of course, but shouldn't you kind of have an explanation of why he's all of a sudden getting a title shot? I mean, I don't know. I mean, at least with AJ, he won like something.
That's
won something.
That's what Nick Aldis. That's Nick Aldis' decision. He's the general manager. I'm introducing you to your next opponent. Yeah. He's booking this.
But just to be a smart, it only seems to happen when he's in Saudi Arabia for some reason. They don't put him in Saudi Arabia. Yeah. I don't know.
It's also another match that is obviously not going to be a Logan Paul victory.
That's true.
So
for sure, yeah, it's gonna be a good match, and you know, obviously, I'm very impressed with Logan Paul in the short amount of time that he's been involved in wrestling. He seems to have a better understanding of what it's all about than guys that have been in the business for like 15, 20 years that are still in other companies or on the independent scene or whatnot. He has a really good understanding of like what it's about and how to be a heel and things like that. So I'm impressed with him, and yeah, this will be good. In some sense, it just as you said, it's like a little kind of flat because like it's Saudi Arabia again, and he's already gotten an opportunity last time in the same situation, so it's kind of like repeating the stuff that they already kind of have done.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Robert, do you want to make a comment about Logan Paul getting the title shot or no?
It doesn't make sense to me, but. You know, if you asked me the same question like last year or 2 years ago, I would have been like kind of annoyed by it because you know he's you know he hasn't put in the amount of time that you know other wrestlers.
He's growing on you. He's growing on you.
But you know what? Every performance that I've seen from him, he's impressed me. So I at this point I've stopped doubting him. And I know that it's gonna be a good bout, so, and it should be a good feud too, because you know obviously he's comfortable on the mic, so yeah. So I'm not gonna complain about it, but it doesn't make sense.
All right, so let's move on with SmackDown. Let's see what else I got bookmarked. Jade Cargill. She was facing. This is a Queen of the Ring match. She's facing Piper Niven. Interesting matchup. One-on-one matchup. One of the first really one-on-one showcases with Jade. I don't know if you guys watched this at all. I mean, it was a very slow, methodical match. She sold a lot for Piper. which was, I think, pretty good, right? To say, hey, you know, it was a struggle for her against this big woman, you know, but she held her own. A lot of test of strength type of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of power moves.
A lot of power moves. So this one was pretty crazy. They're getting slammed in the face with Piper Niven's behind.
I can't figure out how to work that spot. I'd love to know that.
You don't. You just gotta take it.
You just gotta take it. How do you take this? Bam!
Oh, ouch.
I have no idea.
Just brace yourself. Brace yourself.
Jesus Christ.
But what's her name? Chelsea Green was out there with Piper trying to help her, but I think this was the end. She puts her in the jaded, right? Which is I don't really like this move because it requires a lot of cooperation. Like when they lift her up and they lift their knees up, you know, like obviously they're doing that themselves. And then, but the part where they get slammed on their face is pretty cool, like that. So.
I think it's a great finish, honestly.
I don't think it's a great finish.
Every move
I think it's a fantastic finish.
Every move that they do requires cooperation.
Yeah, you could.
This is obvious cooperation.
Okay.
But anyway,
I don't know. I see what you're saying. John. You're not completely wrong, but I just think it's a great looking move.
Yeah.
It does look good, and that was impressive that you did it on Piper Niven. So.
Yeah.
But next on tap for Jade is Nia Jax, because
oh Jesus Christ,
Nia Jax defeated Naomi, so it's another big girl.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody
might die in that match. There's a chance.
Oh my God. That'll be an interesting one. Yeah, we'll keep an eye on that to see how they work it.
That one I'm watching just for the spectacle of it. I gotta see what happens with that match.
Yeah, that's also a callback to the Royal Rumble when Jade eliminated Nia Jax. So, all right, let me see what I got next. We're gonna skip Shinsuke Nakamura. He keeps losing. He keeps losing, but they keep giving him time to talk, and I don't know how he has any credibility anymore. I mean, I like these scenes, kind of. They look cool, but he's just lost all credibility with me. He's in this King of the Ring. I don't know, but whatever. Let's move along.
Oh, geez.
This is good. So this is probably the first really, really good thing that I seen this week. That out of all the wrestling I watched, this one segment was probably the best one.
Yes, agreed.
So Solo is in the back, and he's been the leader, quote unquote, of the Bloodline since Roman's not been there since his WrestleMania loss. And Paul Heyman has been freaking out that Solo is doing all this stuff. And he's wearing a nice suit today, nice shoes, which I'm going to show a little bit more in a little bit. But anyways, so Paul Heyman's going to ask Solo to speak to Solo on his own, and he asked the two guys, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, to leave the room. And then they have this talk, and I guess I'll play this little couple minute segment.
I'm Roman's wise man. But so you're making decisions.
Like the decision to lie and pull Roman from the draft? Yeah, that one backfired on us, Paul. Because of that mistake, we got drafted in the 3rd round when we should have been number 1.
Oh my God, yeah. They wanted to be 1st-round draft picks. They're ashamed that they were 3rd-round draft picks in the WWE draft.
No comment on that either.
Yeah, I know. No comment on the stupid WWE draft, but let's move along.
Trying to take money out of my pocket.
Wait. Listen to this.
It's like you're trying to take money out of my pocket. You trying to do that?
Just K-On's favorite thing right here.
Yeah, the fact that he was a 3rd-round pick instead of a 1st-round pick, it made him look bad. So this is going to cost him in contract negotiations, going to take money out of his pocket. And as he's going to say right now, food out of his kids' mouths.
It's like you're trying to take money out of my pocket. You trying to do that? Huh? You trying to take food away from my kids to eat? Huh? You want my kids to starve, Paul?
No.
I know you gotta look at Paul's face. Paul is the best.
Yeah, he is.
And well, last week,
No, I don't.
you walked by my brother Jay. Did you try to, like, give him a signal or a look that you needed help?
No.
I understand you're the wise man. I know you're trying to protect Roman from the draft, protect us, protect the family, the bloodline. Okay. And you haven't spoken to Roman since he lost our title at WrestleMania, right?
Right.
Well, I have.
Paul Heyman looks up.
And until he comes back,
What? You
I'm
have?
in charge of the bloodline. I call
What
the
the
shots.
fuck? Is this real though?
No, I don't think he talked to him.
My wise man,
Of course.
by orders of the tribal chief. Give me a hug, wise man. Bring it in.
Give me a hug,
It's
wise
okay.
man.
Bring it in.
This is like a mafia hug right here.
Move it.
Yeah.
Are they gonna eliminate Paul Heyman? Are they gonna like fucking beat him down in the middle of the ring and kick him out of the bloodline or something or what?
No, I think it's not right now. No, but
Oh my God.
these segments will continue to be hilarious and the best the
Yeah.
best that SmackDown has going thing right for now. Actually, the best,
I love you,
maybe the
wise
best,
man.
well, maybe the best thing the WWE has going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, so this is gonna lead to a match between the Street Profits and one of the members of the Street Profits. Was it Montez Ford? Sorry, I screwed that up.
No, I think it was the other one. It was the other one, I believe. If I'm not mistaken.
D'Angelo Dawkins.
Yes, I want to say that's right. Versus Tomatonga, right?
Yeah, and he's facing Tamatanga, and here comes Solo, leading the new bloodline with his suit. The way he walks too, is so incredibly nice shoes. His hairdo, man. Solo is really coming together as a character. This is like
Yeah.
amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't. At
Yeah.
first, I was like not buying him as like the tribal chief or
Not
whatever.
buy
the
it from the
fuck.
beginning. Worked for me
Yeah.
from the word go.
I liked it from the beginning too. I didn't have a problem with it.
Well, anyways, so this match had some interference from the Bloodline. Damn, that was a fucking mighty spear right there. But yeah, so when Dawkins was gonna go for a dive, Solo was there. This leads to a lot of fighting outside between the Street Profits and the Bloodline. Tonga, Loa, and Solo are gonna beat the shit out of Montez Ford outside, on the outside, which is Solo's gonna give him a mighty spike, just vicious, and that's gonna lead to the end of the match as Tamatanga beats Montez Ford. So, and Paul Heyman, I think, is gonna be freaked out by this again, right? He's just like, this is. I think it's because I think Paul Heyman is freaked out by them beating up the Street Profits for no reason, because it's like, why are you making more enemies? Like, are they just gonna let this go? Are the Street Profits gonna take this beating and just like look at Heyman? He's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
And the way Solo's looking straight at him too.
Well, I think what works here is like these are like wild, like the wild, going back to their ancestors, the wild Samoans and whatnot. So they're just running roughshod around a lot of people and things like that. And since they have no control, since Roman is was the brains of the operation and whatnot, so now they're just like they got these three guys that are just wild, crazy guys that are just gonna beat the shit out of everyone.
Yeah. So I guess they're using the Street Profits as jobbers here, right? Because
Yeah.
they're not going to continue the feud with the Street Profits unless they keep coming out and messing with the Bloodline, because they're not going to let this go. But I guess it'll remain to be seen. There hasn't been a WWE show since this show as of our recording right now. So I guess we'll find out as time passes. But all right, so that's it for the Bloodline business for this week. But good stuff. I will say, to me, that was the first thing that was worth watching to me out of everything I've seen this week. But the main event was AJ Styles against Randy Orton. And the ending was, I think, a victory for Randy Orton. AJ was going to Styles clash him, but it turned into an RKO. And really good marquee main event match, but I really glossed over it. I didn't speak about it too much or watch it. But I think I've seen that before. I'm pretty sure AJ and Randy Orton have had a match. But
okay, yeah, they must have.
Because I do remember at some point AJ trying to do, not in this match, but in some other match, AJ tried to do a phenomenal forearm and Randy countered with an RKO. I don't know if that was in a three-way match or like a one-on-one, but I still remember that moment, that RKO still. So.
All right, that'll be WWE talk for the day. Any concluding comments about Raw and SmackDown before I move on to the AEW madness?
Not really. No, I think it's all been said. I think we've done a pretty good review of the most important topics on both shows.
All right then.
Outside of the Bloodline angle, it wasn't really an eventful week.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
So let's move on to AEW Dynamite from Wednesday, May 8th, 2024. There we go. And it started with the opening, which is just the Young Bucks and the Elite and Jack Perry still, who have taken over the show after they have beaten up the owner and put him out injured, basically.
I didn't think they would do this 2 weeks in a row. But they did.
No, they run this show now.
Yeah, they are.
The Young Bucks do. So we'll get back to that in a minute. But let me gloss through. I'm going to gloss through a lot of it. Just mention it. What was on tap? Oh, this guy was really proud of his girlfriend's titties.
What the hell was that? I heard about this, but I didn't see it.
The dude, live. I guess, I don't know if that's his girlfriend, but the camera's on them. Right next to someone who's dressed like Orange Cassidy, by the way. But as soon as the guy notices that they're on camera, the guy pulls his girlfriend's titty out. And there you go, twice. He was like, look, you gotta see this. So,
wow.
And that was during Orange Cassidy's entrance. And it was a grudge match to open the show. Orange Cassidy against Trent. Big deal. This was a heel turn for Trent, who left the best friends, and they ended up having their feud, their blow off here on Dynamite. Robert, or did you think they should have saved this for Double or Nothing?
They should have had this on Rampage. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Sure, I guess.
you guys nuts. I'm sorry, Robert. That was a question dedicated to you, but I couldn't keep myself. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, they did have a big battle, okay? I'm going to forward most of it. I know. The one thing I did realize that was interesting was that, look at this clock in the corner that they were trying to lead to.
Wow.
This Christian swerve face-off, which they kind of went away from. Like, they started it at first, and then, 30 minutes into the show, they weren't really doing that anymore. So, I thought that was a good idea, though. But
yeah, people could stick into the top of that for the top of the hour, sure.
Yeah, but how did this end? Oh, actually, I thought this had an interesting ending, where Trent ripped off the turnbuckle pad, like he was going to use it, and then the ref didn't see that Orange Cassidy did the same thing on the other side, and then Orange Cassidy cheated to win the match. So when Trent came over, he pushed him into the turnbuckle pad where there was no turnbuckle pad, and pinned him. And there's had a big afterbirth or a big aftermath when Trent couldn't really take the loss and he attacks him, and then Don Callis is there for some reason. I don't know what the fuck this is about, Vlad. Did you notice that? He pile drived him the steps, and then Orange Cassidy gets up from that, and Don Callis comes, and for some reason grabs Orange Cassidy and walks away with Orange Cassidy while Chris Statlander comes to talk to Trent and tell him, "What are you doing? We're friends." What is Don Callis doing with Orange Cassidy? This is weird.
I don't get it.
I don't fucking get that. What the hell is that going to lead to? But yeah, Statlander's trying to talk sense into Trent, but Trent's like, "No, I'm not doing the friends thing anymore. It got me nowhere." All right, that was the first 20 minutes of the show.
Well, he's right about that, though. I mean, that part is true. It got him nowhere. That part.
Robert, what do you want to say about this? What's going on here?
Well, before talking about the feud, I just want to point out the one spot where Trent did the pile driver on Orange Cassidy on the steel steps. He did the version of the pile driver where you land on your butt. The same version of the pile driver that Owen Hart did to Stone Cold when Stone Cold got injured, and that was the first thought that came to my head when he did it that way on the steel steps was Stone Cold's injury. And right after I thought that, one of the announcers or commentators said, "Stone Cold eyes right there." I'm like, oh my goodness.
Yes. Okay.
So as soon as I thought of Stone Cold, the commentator said Stone Cold. Anyways, all right, this feud, I'm not sure how I feel about this feud, but what's really confusing to me is Don Callis's involvement in it. That I don't get it. So
yeah, that's a little bit of a twist that they're trying to throw into it. I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if Don Callis is trying to get Orange Cassidy into the Don Callis family or what, but
it doesn't seem like a good fit, but okay, sure.
I'm just replaying a lot of the damage that Orange Cassidy took and then, got up from like pretty quickly. So Orange Cassidy, as we all know, is pretty infallible. But all right, Vlad, yeah, well, that's the joke about it, right? He's too infallible for how he looks. Like he just got pile driven and here he is back on his feet, ready to go. So, all right, Vlad, for the most part, we have skipped over Orange Cassidy stuff when we do our reviews just because it's very unrealistic and not good. So, in honor of you, I will go ahead and skip this too. I mean, we said what happened. Well, you don't need to review it or say what you think of it. I mean, people can surmise what we think of it based on how much of a joke that we've kind of noticed this segment to be. Like, come on. A pile driver on the steps, and he's already back on his feet in less than a minute. So it's not good.
Right.
This is not good.
Well, I said this should be on Rampage. So, I mean, that's all that you need to know about what I think of this whole feud and segment and everybody else involved in it. So, yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Young Bucks, the executive vice presidents. They show up and they park in Tony Khan's parking spot. And they're kind of bragging about how they put him out and stuff. Jack Perry, they show something he recorded the previous week where he talked about Kenny Omega after they left him laying. And Jack Perry is he's like Simba when Simba was trying to roar at the hyenas, but he was a little kid. He was like, rah, rah.
That's a good one. That's a good Lion King reference.
He's got the beard too. He's got the little. He looks like a lion. Looks like a little lion, but he's trying to act tough here. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's Jack Perry. He's kind of with the Elite now. He's not a member of the Elite, but he's saying that the Elite don't need Kenny Omega anymore, and that they're gonna do their thing where they change the world. That's their thing. That's the Elite's thing, right? We said we're gonna change the world with AEW. There is so little chance of them changing the world with AEW. It's not even funny, but maybe that's the joke. I don't know.
No, I was just gonna real quick. I'll say this, that it wasn't a bad promo if you just don't know Perry. Like if it was just like somebody else and you just didn't know who this guy was and you didn't know that he got his ass kicked by CM Punk and they played the video and all that stuff that has gone on. and everything that's gone. It would be like, or if we just didn't know this guy at all and he was like some big tough guy, but the water bottle, like, and then throwing the bottle and then just like, whatever. It was just kind of laughable and kind of, to me, it was kind of silly. But it was a decent promo if you just look at it, you know, just in a vacuum, I guess, is what I'll say.
Yeah, he threw the water on his face and then threw it. And then while he was trying to cut his promo, like the water was in his nose, so he was kind of like snorting and stuff.
Oh, good. Yeah.
All right, Robert. Any comments about Jack Perry here before I move on?
Nothing really. I just thought it was a decent promo, especially compared to what he usually does for promos. So, but that's about it. Nothing more to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, it is the return of heel Jack Perry. I mean, he's been out for a while. We kind of thought he was starting to get it rolling, right, in that feud with Hook that led into All In. It was his first feud as a heel, and at the beginning it was a little rocky, and then we were kind of digging it, you know, and it was kind of funny, but maybe it's because it was all true. Like, that was really, like, he became this person, you know? Like, that's why when he went up to CM Punk, like, he really thought he was going to beat him up.
All right. I got nothing to add to that.
But yeah, my point is, it's been a long time since he's been here trying to be a heel, so he's getting back into the swing of it. I just don't think he's really in the storyline. This whole thing with the Elite and, you know, being rebellious against the owner, like, it's falling flat because it's obviously fake and phony. So this is not the feud for him to be trying to showcase him as a heel. That's my opinion. I think he could be a good heel, but I think this whole thing is falling flat. So that's why it's just I'm almost like just not wanting to even take this whole storyline seriously at all. Robert is saying give it time because after the attack on Tony Khan the previous week or 2 weeks ago, Robert is saying this is in the early stages. Let's see if something happens. I'm at the point where I'm like, man, this whole thing is so dumb. I don't even really care about it anymore. But I'm going to move along unless anyone has any comments.
No, that's fine.
Vlad agrees. Vlad agrees. All right, let's see what I got next. The Professor, Serena Deeb. She cut a promo about how she was, or Tony Schiavone was up on the entrance ramp to interview her, and she talked about her seizures and stuff. Sorry, pressed that by accident. And that she's very focused on becoming world champion, right, basically. And Tony Storm came out to... Well, actually, Tony Storm said some pretty funny stuff here. I might want to play some of it.
It was a charity case. So here, you better take this.
Oh, so... so she was talking about how Serena Deeb was just complaining and crying, and it was a charity case, so she pulls money out of her bra and throws it at Serena Deeb. So she's got money in her boobs.
Right on the chest, too. Interesting.
And then the next funny thing she said, if I could skip forward a little minute
Tony,
here.
I highly suggest that you start giving a shit and you start taking this seriously.
Oh, this is Serena Deeb's response.
I have quite literally fought for my life, and at Double or Nothing, I'm going to fight for my life to finally become AEW Women's Champion.
Here's
Tony
Storm.
Everything you've gone through, Serena, I can honestly tell you that I don't give a single solitary shit.
And then the way she looks at her.
Tony Storm.
Straight nose to nose. She doesn't give a shit that Serena Deeb was having seizures and a health problem. She doesn't give a shit. She's just a crybaby. Anyways, he tries to get a sucker punch sneak attack in, but Serena Deeb,
she took that well.
This is the part that I laughed at the hard. That's why I kind of laughed when you went to this bookmark, as I remember her just being laid out and Tony Schiavone just looking at her.
Well, Luther has to come in and obviously carry her to the back. So
It's actually pretty hilarious.
Yeah, funny.
I don't know what's gonna happen though. I mean, should they give the title to Serena Deeb, Vlad, or what?
I do not think so. No, I do not think so.
You're not thinking they're going. I mean, it's like one of those, what do you call them? Redemption stories, or not redemption, but comeback story. Just had a tough time health wise.
Oh yeah, but we didn't really know about that until that show.
She just barely brought it up.
She just brought it up. It's not like something that they've been pushing or even saying until just recently. I mean, if she's been going through those issues and they wanted to put that in an angle and they wanted to actually push her, then why are they only bringing it up now when there's like 2? I mean, they still have some time. I guess there's a couple weeks before the pay-per-view, but I don't know. I do not think Serena Deeb should win based on the fact that if they really wanted to, they could have done this before.
Man, I kind of think she should win. I don't know. Robert, what do you think?
Okay, so remember last week when I said that I saw star potential in Mariah May and that I think she should be pushed? I don't know if that was considered like a hot take or not, but I'm going to double down on that and say I think she should probably be the one to actually dethrone Tony. That would be like she's already in like the perfect spot for to set up an angle.
Mariah May. Interesting.
Yeah, the protege beating. Yeah, like they can set up this whole idols become rivals storyline, and Mariah May eventually takes the belt from Tony. That's what I think. So I'm kind of doubling down from my statement from last week. So because of that, I do not think Serena Deeb's gonna win.
All right. Actually, that's a good point. All right, let me move on with the show. Orange Cassidy and Rocky Romero. Let's skip. Here's Mariah May. Speaking of Mariah May, she's here to face Harley Cameron. Actually, this is a very interesting match to me, just because I like when there's new wrestlers.
Harley Cameron dressed up as Saraya.
Yeah, she's in the Outcast.
With the same mannerisms too.
Yeah, Saraya's there to train her, watch out for her, manage her, I guess, for the night. So, Harley Cameron, who I follow on social media, she's very, you could tell that she works hard, she wants a chance, she's really been dying for a chance, and here's a chance to showcase herself. And the thing with AEW, though, I actually watched this match just to see, I think she did all right, but the thing with AEW is that even if you do all right, even if you do pretty good and you deserve maybe more time on the show or a push, Tony Khan is just not coherent enough to actually make a plan to put you on the show and give you like stories or angles or things to do. So she could have done pretty well here, but I don't see Tony Khan actually, being organized enough with all the things he has to do to. But she gave her a chance for this show, and she had a pretty good match. There was a few spots that I think she doesn't look very unnatural. You see those kicks? They look all right. I don't think she looks that bad. She looks good in my opinion. So, but anyways, the ending of the match was Mariah May won, and Saraya came in for the post-match beatdown. And did you see that the camera I think was waiting? Someone was supposed to come out.
And no one did.
No one comes out.
I thought they were just trying to show that Tony Storm is not coming out to help her. I thought that was the point.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's the way I looked at it.
All right. And then this girl, I guess, who was Mariah May's tag team partner in Japan, comes out to save her, Mina Shirakawa. And anyways, I guess their gimmick in Japan was that they were like together, or something.
I have no idea.
I actually have no idea what the hell is going on here.
They were lesbians, or
that's interesting.
Because they made out on a episode of Dynamite a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, they did. I skipped over that.
The one in Jacksonville.
Robert.
How come I didn't see this? Nobody pointed this out to me.
Why do you know so many details about that?
Well, No, that's something to know. That's something accurate.
No, you know, Vlad, I noticed that, and I didn't put it on our review because it just wasn't something that I thought we had time for. But,
yeah, we didn't go over it in our.
Are you kidding me? Of all the things that are happening, we don't have time for too much.
Any of these Japanese girls that come from Japan, you're always like kind of dissing them and not giving them a chance. So that's why.
I absolutely do not care about any of the angles that are happening here. But the fact that they made out, I'd like to at least get a clip of.
They didn't make out. It was a kiss. But
all right.
Anyways,
it was a peck. Like
call back to the HLA era of Eric Bischoff in 2003. But anyways,
look,
if anybody knows, you know. But
yeah, I don't have anything to say about this because I don't even know what the hell this was. This whole match, what? I don't know.
Well, it's like Robert saying.
You said you see something in Harley Cameron? Is that her name? I don't see
it. I think she's all right, but I don't think she's.
I see zero. Zip. Less than zero.
Oh my God. All right,
Okay.
all right. But yeah, according to Robert, this is going to lead to a rift between Mariah May and Toni Storm, which
that I do see. That is right. He's right about that. That I agree.
Okay. All right, let me move along because we're already past our hour mark. That was our goal. So let's try to hit whatever's left on Dynamite real quick.
Sure.
Pac is going to feud with the Trios champions, the Bullet Club Gold or whatever. But I'm going to skip this angle too because I'm not a big fan of it. If anyone wants to stop me, you can stop me. But otherwise, I'm moving on. Malachi Black is feuding with... The House of Black is feuding with Edge. I'm also skipping this feud too, man. I'm so not into this feud. If anyone wants to stop me, I don't know. I don't think it's a good use of Edge, personally.
No one's been trying to stop you. I can tell. No one's going to try to stop. At least, okay, I'll speak for myself. I will not try to stop you.
All right. Moving on. Oh, the Change the World guys, the Young Bucks. They're here. They're in charge of the show, supposedly, right? They're in the gorilla position that Tony Khan would be in if he wasn't out injured. But anyways, moving on to Swerve. Swerve comes out and calls out Christian because Christian left the lane. So he's like, come out, motherfucker. We're going to fight, right? Right now. And then Christian comes out, and Christian basically says he's going to get in there and steal his gold teeth, right? And then Swerve said he wasn't alone, and then the Mogul Embassy was there to watch his back. But, this is actually where I'm going to press pause and play some of what Swerve said, because he is our champion. And let's see how his promo abilities are progressing.
The patriarch of AEW. You got here from playing the politic game. I had to work my ass off and get beat down and get back up to be AEW World Champion. Don't you forget that.
Well, Christian's put in his dues too, but okay, you know, come on.
So I dare you. Come get it. Come take my gold teeth. Come take my gold championship. Oh, that's right. You won't. That'll put Christian in a very uncomfortable position, wouldn't it? And we all know when Christian's faced in an uncomfortable position, he's going to say, I quit.
Oh, that hurts.
That was a stiff one.
That hurts. For once, I agree with Shivani. That was a stiff one. As you know, Christian said he quit in his match against Edge on Dynamite, but Christian had a plan. The Mogul Embassy was here to turn on Swerve, actually. So once again, Christian gets the upper hand on Swerve. Swerve called out Christian, but he's going to end up laying on his back at the end of this segment, getting his ass beat, as the Mogul Embassy is going to put a bunch of moves on him. Powerbomb, what do you call this? The Throwdown Powerbomb or something? I don't know, it was a cool move, but yeah. I couldn't really make out what Brian Cage was yelling at Swerve right there, like there was any kind of reason for this, why, but I mean, he hadn't used the Mogul Embassy for a long ass time, right?
Right.
So
That's true.
Yes, there is some reason in kind of, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but he kind of explained it on Collision, and I mean, I know somebody's going to ask who the hell is watching Collision, and Vlad, why are you watching Collision when you do all valid points, but I went through it really quick to get a bearer of what happened, and he did kind of explain that it's because, like, yeah, Swerve is only using him, and they only call him when, like, when he needs help, but he doesn't, him and Nana are just using them, and they're done with Nana and Swerve, which actually, in a sense, I was like, you know what? That actually is correct.
yeah, that's not bad. But they're not going to use the Mogul Embassy for anything good. But they do look good. I mean, all three of them. The Gates of Agony and Brian Cage, they look like...
I especially like the Gates of Agony.
Yeah, WWE could use them, like, for real.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Swerve is going to get beat down again, so... This is a continuation of the Swerve Christian feud. I like this segment, though. This was probably my favorite thing on the show, I think. I'm going to move on, though.
Well, I just have a quick thought. I know.
Sure. No. Go. If you have thoughts, just stop me, man. I'm just moving along as fast as I can. But anything you guys want to say, go ahead.
I know, just real quick. I know we're pressed for time. But just the fact that since Swerve won the title, the only time we've really seen him is just him getting his ass kicked. Not really the best way to introduce your new champion. I mean, I understand they want to show Christian as a legit challenger, but a new champion, kind of a new era type of thing, sort of deal.
Well, he's probably gonna beat Christian, though.
Well, sure, yes,
yeah,
of course, yes, that
so.
goes without saying that he definitely should, but that's not the point. I think the point is, like, you really want to see this guy continuously being laid out like that. I don't know. I'm a little weary of that, and I wouldn't really book it that way. But okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine as long as he gets over in the end and he wins.
Mhm.
But all right, moving along. This is Christian in the back with the EVPs, the Young Bucks. Pleasure doing business with y'all. So, because Swerve dissed the EVPs, remember? That's why they sent Christian out there to be his rival for the next title shot. But moving along, this was a review of that hardcore match that Sky Blue and Willow had on Rampage the week before, which I didn't see any of it, but it looked pretty crazy, man. It was Sky Blue's turn to take the massive bumps for the audience that night. But okay. A backstage promo with Willow, who was looking pretty good, in my opinion. She was talking about Mercedes Moné and how
Are you ready? Are you ready for me?
she put her out, and she, basically saying that she was just better than her. I want to summarize it because I don't really want to play all of Willow's promo. But Mercedes cut another one at the end of the night, so they had dueling promos against each other, and I thought they were both pretty good. If anyone has any comments on Willow or Mercedes, I guess I'll let you guys go.
I don't think Willow said anything like profound, and she doesn't usually do during her promos. But I will say she does sound like a natural on the mic. Like she sounds like she's very comfortable talking.
Yeah.
'Cause, yeah, that's what that I can say. While other wrestlers, when they do their promos, you can tell like they rehearse. It feels very rehearsed. Like a lot of their lines are memorized. She just sounds natural to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I like Willow. Yeah. I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I like her
too.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree.
Samoa Joe is working out again after losing the title, so they're trying to keep him in the storyline, in the loop, but I don't know if this is making him look good. I mean, does he look beast here, Vlad? Does he look like he looks like a fat guy who's trying to get in shape?
Well, that's a good point.
He's like, look how hard I'm working.
Here we go again. Fat shaming.
I think they were trying to make him. They were trying to make him look like, hey, he's a badass and he's coming to get you. But like, dude, are you afraid of this guy? I don't think I'd be afraid of this guy.
Well, yes,
But,
we know that Samoa Joe's actually a legit badass. So the fact that we know that makes you think that you would probably be afraid of.
is he a legit badass? Why do we know that? I don't know that.
He trains with one of the OGs of the UFC, Tito Ortiz. Like he trains with him.
Ortiz. Oh my god. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna move on for this though. I'm just glossing over this.
Okay.
And yes, I do think Samoa Joe is a legit badass for real. Like I think he could beat people's ass, like for real.
All right. I'm not gonna say anything. I don't want Samoa Joe getting on my bad side. Then.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be like I could kick Samoa Joe's ass.
Well,
maybe I could tire him out. Maybe I could tire him out, make him move around the ring and stuff. You know.
Yeah. Floyd Mayweather a bit. You
know. Moving on. Oh, speaking of out of shape, Chris Jericho is starting to lose it a little bit.
That's a great segue.
I completely fast forwarded through this. All right, I didn't pay attention to this segment at all. So I don't know what was that.
He had what was it? It was a squash match, a tag team squash match, whatever. Okay. I didn't even put the ending. But I think man, Chris Jericho just blatant disrespect for the business at this point.
He got the highest rating on Cage Match.
He was talking about how his match last week got the highest rating on cagematch.com, which is a bullshit website where they do star ratings. I mean, and he's legitimizing them on this fucking show.
Highest rating on Cage Match, if you can believe that. We chopped each other 79 times. He headbutted me with a garbage can. I threw a hockey puck in his face. Que sera, right?
He's joking about this, Vlad. This is madness. This is madness. Well, this is like a promo that would give Cornette an aneurysm, right?
It will. Once he reviews it, will, because Cornette, you know, first of all, Cornette and Brian Last said that match with Shibata was one of the worst matches they've ever seen. I didn't really watch it enough to comment, to say if it was one of the worst matches of all time or one of the worst things they've ever seen on AEW. I mean, based on, yes, I heard that they chopped each other like 80 times, but I honestly swear to God, I did not watch a single second of it. So I wouldn't be able to tell you.
I wouldn't be able to tell you match.
I wouldn't be able to tell you if it was as bad as Cornette said it was, based on the fact that they chopped each other that many times. You know I would hate it, but Jericho's becoming like just literally like a caricature of himself at this point. He's not even. I don't even know what the hell this is or what he's even doing. I know it's supposed to be like tongue in cheek, but it's really just. It really is not working for me. It's
horribly disrespectful also to the wrestling business, man. I gotta say. I mean, look. I know we all know kayfabe is dead. And, you know, people are on their Twitters talking about their real life away from wrestling. So, yeah, it's not the same as it used to be. But, God, man, you can at least try to be a little serious about this shit, man, and try to make the people at least believe some of it. But fuck this guy, honestly. I'm moving on. So, Shivani came in to announce that Hook's going to be back next week. So that was the end of this segment. After Chris Jericho cracked him on the face with baseball bat at the last pay-per-view, so I guess we'll see what happens there. Edge was the main event against Brody King, right? And this was a hardcore no DQ match. And
yes, that's good.
Edge won. I'm skipping all of it. Look, this was like 20 minutes or something. This was a really long match. They had a lot of time left on the show. And there was an afterbirth where Brody King tried to attack Edge, but that was thwarted by Kyle O'Reilly. But I don't really want to get into that too much. I'll move on to Mercedes Moné. We talked about how Willow cut a promo earlier. I like Mercedes' promo here. She just sounds a little robotic is the problem. I like what she says. It's just that, you know, I don't know. Her delivery is a little off, which a lot of people have said. You know, she's received some criticism about this. But the final segment of the show. So this is the last thing we're going to talk about on this segment today. That's all we have for AEW and WWE. But Okada came out and talked about Kenny Omega. And, Kenny was on the show earlier, right?
Yeah.
Did I skip over that?
I think you did. You skipped that part where he was laying in the hospital.
He was laying in a hospital bed after they beat his ass last week. and he set up a 4-on-4 Anarchy no DQ match, War Games or whatever type of match against the Elite, but he's not going to be in it because he's out hurt. So it's going to be FTR and 2 people that we don't know yet, which is bullshit. I'm going to fucking rip this feud apart, man. This Anarchy in the Arena match, I think, is the worst match of any fucking major feud that I've seen between 2 factions in AEW. But okay.
That's hard to say, but okay. I mean, maybe. I like to hear your reasoning of why it's the worst, but yeah, maybe.
Okada, well, yeah, let's see who the contestants are in the match, and then we'll talk about it. But Okada comes out, talks about Kenny Omega, and Robert, this is a rehash, not a rehash, but a callback to the greatest match in wrestling history at the Tokyo Dome between Okada and Kenny Omega. So they're continuing their feud. The greatest. But what is Okada saying? That he's now the best bout machine, right?
Right.
Get well soon. Mwah.
That's all he said. They get Okada to remember. He can remember 1 or 2 lines in English, and that's all he says for every show.
Oh, Cody.
Yes, Cody, the Japanese Cody Rhodes with the suit and the blonde hair.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is where... Oh, you know what? Slightly interesting. They did explain why they attacked Tony Khan. They said that Tony Khan was getting in their way of helping the company. So that's why they beat him up and took over the show. Okay? And okay. That was kind of true, though. Tony Khan is the guy who is in the way of this show becoming a good show, but the Young Bucks aren't the answer. Anyways.
Absolutely. Can somebody actually do this, beat his ass, but not the Young Bucks, not this group?
Yeah, exactly.
So we could save AEW?
Yeah, if they were trying to save AEW from Tony Khan, I'm like, okay, cool, but like you guys aren't the guys.
But not these guys. Anybody but these guys. These guys would be the last people I want. I think I'd rather have Tony Khan than these guys. But anyways, okay.
So FTR comes out, and they announced their 2 tag team partners for this Double or Nothing Anarchy in the Arena match. And the first guy is Eddie Kingston. And the last guy is Bryan Danielson, who they were like surprised that he's back because he was convulsing in his match against Will Ospreay. But here he is going into a hardcore Anarchy in the Arena, no rules weapons match. So, anyways, all these guys who loosely, I mean, did Danielson have anything to do with the Elite? Fighting the Elite? I mean, Kingston I could see because they had a little squabble. I guess.
Danielson? No.
Yeah, how did they get Danielson to join their team? I don't know.
Maybe he was very upset what happened with Tony Khan, and he's like Tony Khan's close friend or something.
Well, like you, Vlad, I watched Rampage, and Claudio Castagnoli was like upset that Bryan Danielson joined this match. Because he's like, I don't want to have anything to do with it. He's injured. He's hurt. He's on his own. I'm not going to help him. So that's what Claudio Danielson's Blackpool Combat Club teammate said about him being in this match. So, anyways, what did I say earlier about this being the worst? This is the worst
why do you think this is
Anarchy in the Arena or Stadium Stampede or Blood and Guts match that I could think of for this company.
And that's because
they're usually not bad. Yeah, I mean, Kingston, Danielson not really being involved. Like, you know, I don't know. It was just thrown together. You know, they're throwing Danielson at the end. FTR, I get that they're feuding with the Young Bucks and they don't like them, but I don't know.
It doesn't leave you actually wanting to see the match. Is that basically what you're saying?
Not really. I don't really care about this feud. It sucks because it's their main feud. I'm more into, like, I'll watch Christian against Swerve. I'll even watch Tony Storm against Serena Deeb. But this one I think is going to be a bullshit garbage match. So I'm kind of disappointed with this one. No, they're not all. You know, I don't.
I mean, all of these type of matches that you just mentioned, the Anarchy in the Arena, the Stampede, whatever match on the football field that they had.
Yeah, but at least those had
Guts.
really kind of good feuds leading up to it. Pretty good feuds, you know?
Some of them were.
Well, anyways, all right. That's all we got for this week. We've done all the shows from WWE and AEW pretty much. Well, not really. We didn't do Collision and Rampage, but...
You don't have to, trust me.
Another thing that was set up for the pay-per-view was Malachi Black against Edge in a steel cage, right?
Yeah.
So... All right, well, I got through the show. I'm a little sick. I don't know if you guys can hear it. I have a cold.
Oh,
I can't really tell.
Now that you've mentioned it, you maybe sound a little nasally, but for the most part,
I mean, my nose is kind of... I got boogers running down my nose, but I've been trying to, like, just suppress it until we do this show. But okay. All right, then, guys. Let's say goodbye to the peoples who've been listening to us, the wrestling
Goodbye,
fans.
peoples.
Goodbye, peoples.
Subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. We'll try to review all the modern wrestling, and if we can get to some classic stuff, if we have time, we do that sometimes too. But for this week, that'll be it. Join us on social media. Add us on Instagram, TikTok, whichever one you want to use. X, I guess we even have Threads, believe it or not. Malapert _Smark.
Good God.
You can follow Robert at Roberto. Vlad's not on social media. You can only find him here. Comments, make a comment in the videos if you want.
You can't find exactly.
And he might respond to you if you want to message him like that, but we'll see. Yeah, leave comments, guys. Come on. We want to hear what you have to say about the wrestling. But thank you very much for watching. That'll be it for this week. We'll see you next week.